When the power goes out, it rarely starts with a bang. One moment everything hums along as usual, the refrigerator quietly humming, the air conditioner cycling, streetlights glowing in perfect sync, and then suddenly silence falls, swallowing every sound you took for granted. No Wi-Fi, no humming appliances, no distant traffic or children playing, no background noise of life. You step outside, and the entire neighborhood is dark, eerily quiet, and the questions start to creep in. How long will it last? What happens next? And am I really prepared? America's power grid is both one of the most complex systems ever built and one of the most fragile. Over 70% of transmission lines are operating well past their intended lifespan, and some of the massive transformers have been in use since the 1960s, decades beyond what engineers ever planned. Maintenance backlogs grow every year, as utilities struggle with labor shortages, rising costs, and tariffs that delay imported parts. Replacing a single large transformer can take over a year, and thousands are already overdue. If even a handful of these fail simultaneously, the result could be a catastrophic cascade that overwhelms the system. Extreme weather events are intensifying. Heat waves, stronger storms, hurricanes, and wildfires are testing the grid like never before. Rising electricity demand from air conditioning, electric vehicles, and massive data centers pushes infrastructure to breaking point. Cyber threats are multiplying. Hostile actors are probing and attacking utilities at record rates. Ransomware attacks on grid operators have more than doubled in recent years, and the Department of Energy warns that cyber threats now pose historic risks to critical systems. Every major stress is converging simultaneously, creating a perfect storm for a massive grid failure in 2026. When the grid finally buckles, it won't just be a flicker of lights. It will trigger a domino effect where power disappears first, then water, food, communication, sanitation, and security. Each collapse faster than most people imagine. Power is the first domino. Without electricity, refrigerators warm and food spoils, municipal and home well pumps stop, hospitals rely on short-term generators, gas stations cannot pump fuel, and stores cannot sell anything without cash or manual paper systems. Outages are lasting longer. Multi-day blackouts are becoming more common. We've seen this in Texas during the winter freeze when millions were left without power for days, in the Pacific Northwest where heat waves pushed the system to its limits, and in California, where utilities now preemptively shut off power to prevent fires from old transmission lines. Most households have no plan for extended outages. When your neighborhood goes dark, what you do in the first hours dramatically affects how hard the next few days will be. Simple preparation now makes survival and comfort far easier when chaos strikes. Start with a tiered power plan. Level 1 is small-scale backup. Flashlights, headlamps, rechargeable batteries, and battery banks for phones and small devices are essential. Keep them charged, test them monthly, and make sure your household knows where they are. Level 2 is portable solar backup. This allows you to sustain daily life, powering lights, fans, routers, and refrigerators on a rotating schedule. Portable solar generators are silent, maintenance-free, and recharge during daylight hours, providing energy independence even in prolonged outages. Level 3 is whole home power. Combine solar panels with battery storage or hybrid systems to maintain essential appliances during long outages. This can power everything from well pumps to HVAC systems, medical equipment, and more, giving your household real resilience. Water is the second domino. Electricity moves and purifies water. Without it, faucets slow, toilets stop, and water becomes unsafe in just a few days. Treatment plants, pump stations, and private wells all rely on power, so when the grid fails, so does water infrastructure. Store at least 2 weeks of clean water per person. Use bottled water, 50-gallon drums, or stackable containers. Add a gravity or ceramic filter, or a solar-powered water pump for wells. Keep ways to purify water independently, using camp stoves, solar ovens, or chemical treatments. Food is the third domino. Grocery stores operate on razor-thin schedules and remove electricity, and the supply chain grinds to a halt. Trucks cannot refuel, warehouses lose refrigeration, and distribution centers go idle. Within 72 hours, perishable food begins to spoil, and within a week, most stores are stripped bare. Build food resilience now. Start with ready-to-eat meals that last months, including canned meats, vegetables, fruits, nut butters, and grains that can be eaten cold or soaked. Then add meals that require minimal fuel using a camp stove, grill, or solar oven. Practice one day each season without electricity to understand what works. Communication is the fourth domino. When power fails, information disappears. Cell towers have only 4 to 6 hours of backup. Then they go dark. Internet providers rely on electricity, So when the grid collapses, so does connectivity. Without communication, people lose updates, warnings, and coordination. Create redundancy. Keep a hand-cranked or battery-powered weather radio with no AA frequencies. Store extra batteries and a small solar charger. For local communication, GMRS or ham radios are invaluable. Even a basic handheld keeps you linked when cell service fails. Keep printed lists of numbers and physical maps. Sanitation and health is the fifth domino. Without water, toilets stop, sewage backs up, and trash piles up quickly. In prolonged outages, sanitation becomes a public health threat. You don't need elaborate gear, just a 5-gallon bucket toilet kit with liners, bleach, gloves, and soap. Keep heavy-duty trash bags, disinfectant wipes, and a hand-washing station. For medications, maintain at least a 30-day buffer. If medications require refrigeration, keep a small cooler or battery-powered mini-fridge ready. Good sanitation and water access dramatically reduce the risk of health problems during extended outages. Security is the sixth domino. When the grid fails, law enforcement response times double. Street lights go dark, alarm systems fail, and crime becomes opportunistic. Protecting your family starts with prevention, not confrontation. Solar or battery-powered motion lights, reinforced doors, and coordination with trusted neighbors dramatically reduce risk. Neighborhood communication and visible activity discourage opportunistic theft. Use shared radios or walkie-talkies, perform daily check-ins, and create a support network. Communities that plan together weather crises better and protect each other more effectively. Layered defense is key. Each system supports the next. Power supports water. Water supports food. Food. You said, cut script in 2 parts because you can't generate all instantly. Second, you made slide with more than 250 characters I requested most. 150. ChatGPT said, perfect. Now I understand clearly. We'll split the script into 2 parts. Each slide will be 150 to 160 characters, max. Avoid ending short sentences with a period unless the slide reaches the character minimum. I'll start with part 1, rewritten properly for Pictory AI slide-ready format, following your rules. Part 1. Slides 1 to 30. Example. When the power goes out, it rarely starts with a bang. 1 moment. Everything hums along as usual, the fridge running, AC cycling, streetlights glowing, then suddenly silence. No Wi-Fi, no hum you never noticed before, no background noise of life. You step outside, and the entire neighborhood is dark. How long will it last? What happens next? Panic starts to rise as you realize this is not a momentary flicker. This is something far bigger. America's power grid is one of the most complex systems ever built, but it is also fragile. Over 70% of transmission lines are past their intended lifespan. Some transformers have been running since the 1960s, decades beyond what engineers planned. Maintenance backlogs grow as utilities struggle with costs and labor shortages. Replacing a single large transformer can take over a year. Thousands are overdue. If even a handful fail at once, supply chains cannot respond fast enough. Extreme heat waves, stronger storms, and rising electricity demand push the grid to its limits. From air conditioners to electric vehicles and massive data centers, demand grows. Cyber threats are multiplying. Hostile actors probe and attack utilities. Ransomware attempts on grid operators have more than doubled in recent years. The Department of Energy warns cyber attacks now pose historic risks to critical infrastructure. Every major stress is converging, creating a perfect storm. When the grid fails, it won't just be flickering lights, it will trigger a domino effect. Power goes first, followed by water, food, communication, sanitation, and security. Power is the backbone of modern life. Without it, refrigerators warm food spoils. Well pumps stop. Hospitals rely on short-term generators. Gas stations cannot pump fuel. Stores cannot sell anything without electricity. Multi-day blackouts are becoming increasingly normal. We've seen this in Texas during the winter freeze. Millions lost power for days. In the Pacific Northwest, heat waves pushed the grid to its limit. California preemptively shuts off power to prevent wildfires triggered by old transmission lines. Most households have no plan for extended outages. What you do in the first hours determines how hard the next days will be. Simple preparation dramatically improves your odds of survival. Start with a tiered power plan. Level 1 is small backup. Flashlights, headlamps, rechargeable batteries, and battery banks for phones or small devices. Keep everything charged and test monthly. Make sure your household knows where backups are stored. This is the first step to resilience. Level 2 is portable solar backup. Power lights, fans, routers, and refrigerators on a rotating schedule. Solar generators are silent, maintenance-free, and recharge during daylight. Level 3 is whole home power. Combine solar panels with battery storage or hybrid systems to maintain essential appliances during long outages. This can power well pumps, HVAC systems, Medical equipment, giving your household real resilience. This is the highest tier of preparedness. Water is the second domino. Electricity keeps water moving and clean. Without it, faucets, slow toilets stop and water becomes unsafe after a few days. Treatment plants, pump stations, and private wells all rely on power. When the grid fails, so does water infrastructure. Store at least 2 weeks of water per person. Bottled water drums or stackable containers are ideal. Add a gravity or ceramic filter or a solar-powered pump for wells. Keep ways to purify water independently. Camp stoves. Solar ovens and chemical treatments ensure safe drinking water even when the grid is down.